Hey everyone, it's Derek here with another video, and today we're talking about the Coros Pace 2. And this is the dark navy version, and let's see, it comes with some manuals, comes with the charger, and then it comes with the watch. So this is what I would call more of a long-term review. I've had this watch for about 2 years now, and just wanted to give you my thoughts around it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to take a look at this watch and buy it was because I had a Garmin 735 XT and I was planning on doing a triathlon, and the battery on that watch would just run out too quickly. So I wanted something that could do well battery life wise and also have a triathlon mode that could do all the transitions and all the splits while I'm swimming and everything like that. So wanted to find sort of the best of both worlds of multi-sports battery life. So that was the main goal. So I came across this watch, and this is again something that I watch a lot of reviews on, watch and see like who likes and dislikes this watch. And first thing in the pro column is only $199. So that's a pretty good steal, I would say, in the watch world. And the reason why I say that is because lots of watches are getting super expensive. Apple watches are really expensive. Some people love those watches, but I'm looking for battery life, and an Apple Watch just can't give me the battery life that I want. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this thing is really, really light and just easy to put on your wrist. And I have very, very tiny, petite wrists, so you can understand why I would want something just a little bit smaller. I actually bought a Garmin Instinct Solar and tested it out for a few weeks, and just the battery life was amazing, but the watch was just really, really heavy on my wrist. And I just didn't like the heft, which is funny to say, but the watch just overtook my wrist and it wasn't really comfortable, I would say. The other thing is that this has a hydrophobic coating, which I found out about. So it's Corning glass with a hydrophobic coating. And another thing that's nice about these watches is that you can get them in a nylon band or this silicone band. I typically like the silicone band a little bit better, but I haven't tried it with the nylon band. And it has a 20 millimeter band on it, so you can see here. And it's really easy, so you get to take it off right here. So nice and easy to do, and you can switch it with any 20 millimeter band. So the other thing, or most important thing, was battery life. How is the battery life on this? So Coros says that this can last up to 30 hours of GPS, standard GPS, and 60 hours with Ultra Max GPS mode. Daily use, so if you're just wearing it all the time, you can get it for 20 days. And then the charging time takes less than 2 hours. It has a proprietary charger, which is not something that's great. I wish these companies can come up with a charger that works with USB-C or micro USB or something like that. Obviously, this is a GPS watch. We want to know how well does the GPS hold up. And it's just okay. I'm comparing this with a couple of GPS watches. So I compared this with the Garmin 735 XT, as well as the Solar Instincts, as well as the Garmin Edge 130. And then I also compared it to my phone as well, just using Strava to track it. And this just does like every other GPS watch does. It's okay, and it is like plus or minus a couple hundred meters. So it has a single band frequency, so it's not dual band like a lot of watches are coming out. But again, in a watch that's $199, so really good deal on this one. Something else that I really like about this watch is that not touchscreen. So you have two buttons here. So this is a scroll wheel here, and then you also have a button right here. And the scroll wheel can be pushed in to go to other menus and to select items. So that's something that's really nice, is that I've used the Apple Watch and I've used some other watches that were touchscreen and had a lot of issues with it. In fact, with an Apple Watch, I actually dripped a sweat on it and ended up canceling a run too. So that's something that I really didn't want, is something that was touchscreen. I wanted something that had finite buttons, and this one does a good job. Something else to note with this is that it's received a ton of firmware updates, and I wouldn't say a bunch of new agey firmware updates that brings it into the 23rd century or something like that, but it's something that is nice to see with a small company like Coros, is that they're constantly making updates to fix the issues that they get feedback from their customers. And within their app, within your phone, you can select it and then complain about something, or you can post on social media and complain about something, and they actually respond to your comments. So this is something that I really like. It seems like the customer service is doing a pretty decent job there. For $199, it's tough to get watches that get all the features like a triathlon mode, a barometric altimeter, so something that can track your elevation. So that's something that's really nice to have in a $199 watch. And then it has this grand feature that people think is really cool, which is track mode. So if you're running around a track, it actually recognizes a track, and then instead of doing like the GPS weird, like off the cuff, incorrect like places where you're running, it sort of makes it one whole thing around. And yeah, it just looks better when you look at it from a Strava standpoint, or when you're sharing it with friends and different things like that. What do I not like about this watch? If you're moving from, for example, a Garmin, it doesn't have as much app support as I would want. And really by that, I mean, the only app that I was using previously and tracking everything on was Map My Run, which probably isn't something that a lot of people use. So it just had all of my statistics from using my Garmin and using a couple of other watches before I got into Garmin. So that was something that it could track sort of my lifetime mileage and different things like that. So that's one thing that I didn't really like. It doesn't have gear. So if you wanted to add like shoes or something like that, it doesn't track your gear. It still syncs over to Strava, and in Strava you can track different types of gear that you're using. The scroll wheel is pretty lackluster in that it's not the most responsive. If you've used an Apple Watch, you can see like the tactile feel of the scroll wheel that they have is much better, and the responsiveness on that watch is also much better, probably because the actual processor is a lot more powerful. But for this one, I would want like a firmware update just to make this a little bit snappier. Last thing is the heart rate. So something that I really liked about my Garmin watch was that I could start it up or just have it on my wrist detecting my heart rate, and I could project that and connect it to my Garmin Edge on my bike computer, and I can use that to pair my heart rate to the Garmin 130. Now, for this one, I can turn that pairing on, but then I can't actually have a workout on this. And it's really important to have the workout on this because it can track how much load you have, your performance, and your fatigue and what have you. So it works similar to Garmin's like battery level. This does have something similar to like VO2 Max. It has it on your app, and it does similar things that Garmin does in trying to detect or predict what your pace would be for like a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. So that's something that's nice that it has, but I wouldn't say it's super accurate. But I would also say that Garmin's is not super accurate in terms of calorie counts, in terms of VO2 max and what have you. I think this one's on the very, very conservative side. And then on Garmin's side, it's like the very, very far end. And I would say of the watches to get, if you don't need to be in the Garmin ecosystem, if you don't need to be in the Apple ecosystem or what have you, I would say this honestly is one of your best bets. This is a really, really good watch for the money, but not only for the money, it's just a good watch in general. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next video.